The votes on July 2nd and 4th did not represent the attainment of a victory. They represented the setting foot on a new road in a long struggle. The mood at the time was not jubilant. It was somber. We immediately brought the Declaration to John Dunlap for printing. Within a few weeks, we had ordered the Declaration to be engrossed on parchment by Timothy Matlack, and we had set a formal signing date, August the 2nd. Even though not all the men who signed the Declaration were present at the signing ceremony on August the 2nd, and not all the men who had voted for the document even had the opportunity to fix their names to it, the act of affixing our signatures was anything but an empty gesture. We all knew that we were signing our own death warrant. By putting our names to that declaration and sending it to King George III, we were making peculiar targets of ourselves, and we knew it. Thomas Hayward Jr., Arthur Middleton, Edward Rutledge, they're all of South Carolina, as well as George Walton of Georgia, were all imprisoned by the British as prisoners of war after being captured during their military service defending the United States. Richard Stockton, signer from New Jersey, was captured and imprisoned specifically because he had signed the Declaration. He was dragged from his bed at night by Loyalists. By both the sons of New Jersey's Abraham Clark, both of his sons were captured and imprisoned by the British. The eldest son of New Jersey's John Witherspoon was killed in battle in Germantown. Thomas McKean, who signed for Delaware, wrote about how he had been hunted like a fox by the enemy, compelled to remove his family 5 times in 3 months, and at last fixed them in a little log house on the banks of the Susquehanna. But they were soon obliged to move again on account of the incursions of the Indians. I could tell you a similar story about myself and my own family from later in the war. The home of New York's signer Lewis Morris was first occupied, then looted, then burned by the British. My point is not that all of these sacrifices were due solely to the signatures that these men placed on the Declaration of Independence. Rather, it is to say that their signatures carried deep meaning. They committed themselves publicly to a cause, and they suffered for that cause. Signing the Declaration of Independence was one of the ways in which we were able to make that commitment. Others found different but no less effective means to dedicate themselves to the same cause. I ask you, how will you choose to dedicate yourself to the greater cause, not merely of American independence, but of the true revolution for equality that made that revolution not merely a rebellion, but truly a step forward for the United States of America?